Part 40. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 391. Chapter 391. Are you crazy? Sure enough, it was on the hot search in the evening. Entertainment reporters are worthy of being in this industry. The news is written vividly and vividly. Scandals and scandals are everywhere. Gu Chaoyun lives in a small villa, but her parents and brother live in a small house. Gu Chaoyun wanted to start a business by renting, but the real estate bureau revealed the truth after checking. Moreover, Gu Chaoyun had several villas, all of which were rented out. These houses were bought a few years before Gu's bankruptcy and have been rented out all the time. What kind of family is in decline? The eldest lady counterattacks. The eldest lady whose family is in decline still has $1 billion in real estate. The eldest lady from a poor family is laughing so hard. Fans of the eldest lady, how much is your monthly salary? Can you afford to buy a villa for your master? I have long said that Gu Chaoyun was going to overturn what's so bad about marketing. Doesn't the internet have memory? This time it's a slap in the face. A skinny camel is bigger than a horse. Gu Chaoyun, you are so rich, why are you pretending to be poor? Her fans are so miserable. She sympathizes with the capitalists. She laughs to death. Don't Gu Wenliang owe a lot of money? Why wasn't Gu Chaoyun's house sealed? Before going bankrupt, I'm afraid I transferred all my assets to Gu Chaoyun. Poor creditors, it is indeed the uncle who owes the debt. Gu Chaoyun's life is not pitiful at all, right? For 18 years, she has been the treasure trove of her parents and the most powerful person. Even if she goes bankrupt, she can be a housekeeper and the rent can support a small company. She doesn't have to worry about it for the rest of her life. What's the point of counterattack? How about lying down? Gu Chaoyun's real estate focus is more eye-catching than Gu Wenliang's gathering of people to gamble. Gu Si and Qin Wan were drinking tea in the courtyard and reading gossip, feeling relaxed and at ease. Qin Wan said, "This heat never goes up. Just spend money on public relations." Gu Si chuckled. "Then I'll make all the money they spend go to waste." Qin Wan took the computer and blocked all the water data on the platform, leaving only live data. Some data were directly tampered with in the background and could be corrected. The programmers of the platform are not vegetarians. They quickly changed it back, and Qin Wan changed it back again. The result was that the popularity went up and down. Suddenly it was ranked first. After a few minutes, it dropped to 30, which was obviously nothing. Newly added, suddenly back to number 1. Qin Wan was furious, forcing me to use bigger tricks to let you catch me. Where are the others? Sleep. Gu Si raised his head and glanced at the second floor, where the lights had been turned off early. He is a night owl and goes to bed so early, it's only after 9 o'clock. He has a lot of things to do recently and is also overworked. The children should go to bed early. Qin Wan was indignant, but Gu Chaoyun's black trending search was firmly in the first place and never fell down. Even if a top-notch couple's relationship was exposed at 10 o'clock, her black trending search was still in the top 3. Interesting, money can make ghosts push. This was modified data, and it also spent money. Qin Wan said, "It must be the master, he has a former subject. How could you do such a thing? He has cheated on Gu Chaoyun before, don't you know?" Qin Wan said. "He also exposed a lot of news about celebrities in a very unethical way." Gu Si chuckled, "For me? If not." Gu Si felt warm in her heart, but it was really not Zhang Junlin who did this. Zhang Junlin was too busy to read news and gossip. Lu Ziwen was recovering from his injuries. He had just had a meeting with the 9 CEOs of Black Hawk and took a look at the news. Then I saw the black entry of Gu Chaoyun. As this entry went up and down, he located Qin Wan's location at Lanshan Villa and guessed that it was Gu Si. If his skills could be defeated by money, it was not Gu Ziu, so he helped him. Gu Chaoyun hasn't disappeared yet, Lu Ziwen sneered. After he recovered his memory, accidents happened one after another. They were all big events. He really didn't have time to deal with Gu Chaoyun. She will not pose a threat to Gu Ci in this life, but when he thinks of Gu Chaoyun's love for his name and his mentality of ruining it if he couldn't get it had harmed Gu Ci and Ziu, and he didn't want to let her go so easily. She is really cool living such a comfortable life. She wants to pay back 10 times the suffering Xiao Ci suffered in her previous life. The impact of this incident on Gu Chaoyun was quite big, and her agent Yu Fei was also furious. You still have so many properties, why didn't you tell me? I didn't expect anyone to go check it out. It must be Gu Ci. I saw her on campus today and I have already avoided her. Why won't she let me go? Gu Chaoyun threw something out of control and burst into tears. The popularity she had finally cultivated fell short because of this incident. Gu Ci was like her nemesis. As long as Gu Ci was around, she would never have a good life. The fault in this matter is not who uncovered the scandal about you, but why you didn't confess honestly. If you had confessed early on, I wouldn't have let you market the persona of the counter-attack eldest lady. Even if you market, you will still find a way. It's a turn of events, but now you're being laughed at and beaten. Why are you so stupid? The manager scolded. I didn't expect this. I thought it was a small thing. Gu Chaoyun cried and said, what should I do now? Yu Fei is really angry. He is an ace agent who is best at making stars. He has promoted top celebrities and traffic. When he was asked to take care of Gu Chaoyun, he was not willing to take care of her. This girl's style criticized him. I had heard a little bit that the star was very seriously ill, but the offer offered by the other party was too generous and very powerful, so Yu Fei held his nose and accepted it. Fortunately, Gu Chaoyun knew her situation, and her temper has changed a lot. She doesn't care what she does in private, and is very obedient in public. She has a good foundation, and her music is real. Although she is not a genius, she has no problem marketing talented music girls, let alone a major music. If you have good cards in hand, it is impossible to break them. Gu Chaoyun is indeed very fast, and the reputation has also reversed. Who knew that such a thing would happen? Yu Fei likes obedient artists. It doesn't matter if they are stupid or beautiful, as long as they are obedient. Don't be a monster. But Gu Chaoyun really disappointed him. You issue a statement and say that after your father went bankrupt, all your assets were mortgaged to creditors, and you are working hard to make money now just to repay the debt. Gu Chaoyun's eyes lit up. Then I can bite back at Gu Ci. There are 3 of us brothers and sisters. It's too unfair for my brother and I to share the debt. Gu Ci is also a child. She doesn't care about her father's life and death and forgets the kindness of raising her. Since she won't let him go, I don't want it to be easy for her either. Are you crazy? Yu Fei frowned. Gu Ci is not from the entertainment industry. What's the benefit of marketing her? She is Zhang Junlin's sister. Do you want to drag us to death together? Can you offend me? Are you talking about Zhang Junlin? She is still Lu Ziwen's girlfriend. Which one can you offend, Zhang Junlin or Lu Ziwen? How could you be so stupid? Gu Chaoyun shouted unwillingly, am I just going to let her bully me? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 392. Chapter 392. I don't want to see you. Otherwise. What qualifications do you have to fight against others? Yu Fei sneered. As long as you and Zhang Junlin can cultivate a little brother-sister relationship over the years, you won't be so passive. Gu Chaoyun cried desperately. Because of the disparity in status, she could not fight back no matter what Gu Ci did. Also, Gu Chaoyun, if you walk properly and sit upright, no one can bully you. Yu Fei sighed and said, let me make a statement. Let me think about what to do next. Gu Ci watched as Gu Chaoyun issued a nonchalant statement. The villa had been mortgaged to the creditor and had not yet been transferred, so it was no longer her property. Netizens were doubtful and her fans were unprotected. Gu Ci gave Gu Chaoyun 2 endorsements, and she was behind the scenes. Gu Chaoyun would never have imagined that she called them to make a statement to terminate their cooperation with Gu Chaoyun. It doesn't matter if there is obviously a bit of a scandal. As long as the endorsements and drama appointments are there, it doesn't matter. If the endorsements are lost and the commercial value is lost, it will be a big deal. Yufei took Gu Chaoyun to talk to their person in charge overnight, but they all avoided it. If he didn't see her, he would resolutely terminate the contract with Gu Chaoyun. Gu Ci did not expect that Gu Chaoyun would be bold enough to come to Lanshan Villa to find her. On Saturday, she and Qinwan made an appointment with a group of classmates to play basketball on the basketball court in the villa. After playing, they had a barbecue at her house. Gu Chaoyun appeared at the door early in the morning. Qinwan saw her first. Gu Chaoyun? We didn't invite you, right? I want to see Gu Ci. Where is she? Gu Chaoyun didn't sleep well all night, her eyes were red and swollen, and her condition was very bad. Qinwan was even afraid that she would take out a knife and stab Gu Ci. Gu Ci went downstairs, wearing a set of sportswear and a ponytail. She was in good spirits recently and was very cheerful. She looked very good, as pretty as a peach and plum, and had the vigor that an 18-year-old girl should have. Jealousy made Gu Chaoyun look beyond recognition. Gu Ci said, Qinwan, you go to the stadium first, and I'll talk to her. Qinwan was a little worried. Gu Ci chuckled and said, it's okay. After Qinwan went to the stadium, Gu Ci invited Gu Chaoyun to the yard. Her yard was full of flowers. There were few flowers in winter, but the camellias bloomed beautifully. Gu Ci even poured her a cup of tea and said, look for me, what's up? Did you expose the house thing? After thinking about it, you are the only one who would do such a thing. Although my brother knew that he had a house, he didn't bother to pay attention to me. I just said hello to you on campus. Are you going to put me to death? You think I shouldn't expose you, Gu Chaoyun? Did you buy these houses with my money? Gu Ci chuckled and said, now that the house is exposed, no one will it from you. Sell one. A house is enough for you to be wealthy for a lifetime, and 99% of university graduates will not earn more than 100 million in their lifetime. You can still live like a young lady and have no worries about food and drink. What are you wrong about? Dad owes a lot of debt to the family. My properties have been sealed up and auctioned by the court, but it's still not enough. If those creditors knew that I still had properties in my hands, would they let me go? Gu Ci, after the Gu family's accident, I was the one responsible. Dad is a gambler. My brother has accomplished nothing, and my mother is sick, and I am the only one who is taking care of it. Even if you and I have not gotten along well since we were young, I will not be guilty of it, right? Gu Chaoyun cried so hard that I felt pity for him. I am young and ignorant, I'm afraid that my identity will be exposed, so I target you everywhere. Although your parents don't like you, they raised you and never abused you. Why can't you let us go? That's your father, your mother, and your brother. He was never mine. Gu Ci said coldly, Gu Chaoyun, you have always liked to steal my things since you were a child. I don't care about you anymore, but what do you think about the matter between me and Lushija? Do you still want to use your youth and ignorance to excuse it? You are here right now. Lushija is dead, the Gu family is bankrupt, and we have all received our retribution. Aren't you satisfied? Gu Chaoyun frowned, I also avoided you in school. You don't have to support Dad, okay? If you don't recognize us, no matter how difficult our situation is, we never came to you when we were besieged by our creditors, so why don't you let us go? Gu Ci looked at Gu Chaoyun's pitiful and hateful look, and thought of herself in the previous life. When she was with Lu Ziwen, when she just gave birth to Gu Ziyu, She had knelt down and begged Gu Chaoyun to let go of the child. Gu Chaoyun almost fell to death. Ziu. Ziu couldn't even follow Lu Ziwen's surname. In those years, the scene of Gu Chaoyun torturing her and Ziu was still vivid in her mind. These things will never happen in this life. Gu Chaoyun is right. Just because of these things, she will not die. But what about herself in the previous life? What kind of crime did she and Ziu deserve to die? Who will seek justice for myself and Ziu? Gu Chaoyun, if I had known this, why would I have bothered if I hadn't woken up on the day you and Lushija got engaged? I'm telling you, I would have stabbed Lushija, and then Lushija would have accused me of deliberately seducing him. For attempted murder, I will be sentenced and go to prison. Lu Ziwen has liked me since he was a child. That is your Baiyu Egwang. How can you bear it? What will you do to me? I am helpless in prison. You will want to destroy me, and I will be stepped on by you in the mud for the rest of my life. Gu Chaoyun, if it is just a small fight and we have not been happy with each other since childhood, I will not hate you, and at most I will never have contact with you until the end of my life, Gu Si said sadly. But you should never should, join forces with Lushija to frame me. From that moment on, I will never forgive you. This is not fair. These things have never happened. How can you blame me? Gu Chaoyun wiped her tears. Gu Si, what can you do to let us go? Don't let me see you anywhere, Gu Si said lightly. Gu Chaoyun couldn't accept it. She broke down and said, I am a star and I will definitely appear on the camera. It's not fair at all for you to treat me like this. Gu Si, you are powerful now, so you just trample on my life at will. This is what you have done, Gu Si sneered. I haven't even received a sincere apology so far. Gu Chaoyun was able to bend and stretch, and stood up and knelt in front of Gu Si. Sister, please, let me go. I promise you, follow the rules and be a good person. I will definitely change my ways. I will support my father and won't let him trouble you. I will also take care of the family's debts. You continue to be your sweet daughter. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so obsessed with plotting against you and Lushija. It was my fault. Please forgive me. If I do anything that's sorry for you again, I will be struck by lightning and die. When the time comes, you can do whatever you want with me, okay? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 393. Chapter 393 The Little Thoughts of Father and Son. Kneel down, is that a sincere apology? Gu Si chuckled and knelt down in front of her. Gu Chaoyun was startled, but Gu Si smiled creepily. Look, it's so easy to kneel down. What's so great? Why should I forgive you? Gu Chaoyun was so frightened by her that she backed away frequently and became embarrassed. Gu Si stood up and smiled slowly. Gu Chaoyun, think carefully about what a sincere apology is. Do you really want me to die? If you want to die, I won't stop you, but you should stay away and don't dirty my floor. Gu Si was extremely indifferent. Gu Chaoyun left in despair. Gu Si sat in the garden, covering her heart and feeling so depressed that she couldn't breathe. Every time she saw Gu Chaoyun, she would be reminded of some unpleasant past events. She wants to forget. Forgetting these past events that made her miserable, Gu Chaoyun was right. She had no memory and didn't know what she had done. In her opinion, it was indeed a crime worthy of death. In Gu Si's heart, it was difficult to let go of the shadow Gu Chaoyun had caused on her. But she must also forget that if she cannot let go of those memories, she will be trapped in Gu Chaoyun's shadow for the rest of her life. Ziasai, come to play, Qin Wan called her from the other side of the court. Gu Si walked to the court with a smile. The sun was shining brightly and she was young. She and Zia would have a bright future. Gu Zia watched the conversation between Gu Si and Gu Jiuyun upstairs. He hated Gu Jiuyun more than Gu Si. However, Gu Jiuyun died in his hands after all. He still remembers the pleasure of killing his enemy with his hands. Although the tragedies in this life have not yet happened, Gu Zia watched the conversation between Gu Si and Gu Jiuyun. It happened, Gu Jiuyun could no longer be a demon in this life, and Gu Zia didn't take her seriously. When he saw Gu Jiuyun back then, he would be frightened and trembled, just like Gu Si's hands would hurt when he saw Dr. North, which was all shadowed in his heart. But now, his heart is very peaceful. Since his revenge, Gu Jiuyun has treated him no more. There is no threat anymore. However, Mom is different. Mom will slowly come out of Gu Jiuyun's shadow. After Gu Zia washed up, he went to the basketball court to sketch. He had 3 Chinese painting and sketching classes a week, all extracurricular classes, and he learned well. He painted the scene of Gu Si playing basketball into a group portrait and photographed it for Lu Ziwen. Lu Ziwen, the painting is not expressive enough. Gu Ziu, did I ask you to comment? Would you like to take a look at your mother to ease your longing? Lu Ziwen didn't reply to his message for a long time. Gu Ziu put a question mark, but Lu Ziwen still didn't reply. Gu Ziu angrily ignored him and continued painting. After a while, his phone vibrated and Lu Ziwen sent back a painting. It was modified based on Gu Ziu's painting. What was clever was that he modified Gu Si's painting, which was lifelike. It was indeed more vivid than the beginner Gu Ziu's painting. Gu Ziu felt that he was better than his Chinese painting teacher, although he couldn't see it. I understand it so well, but the way the characters come to life is really wonderful. Gu Ziu, you can actually draw. Lu Ziwen, I can paint any genre, including Chinese painting, sketching, and oil painting. Gu Ziu, I don't believe it. His father is a racing driver, so training takes up most of his time. It is said that he plays the violin better than his mother. He thinks Gu Si is lying about having a filter. His mother's violin is very talented and everyone praises him. How could his father be better than his mother? Mom pulls even better. Lu Ziwen sent a sketch of Gu Si, a freehand landscape painting, and an oil painting. Gu Ziu was shocked. You painted them all? Lu Ziwen, it's embarrassing. Gu Ziu confirmed again and again, are you sure you are not a ghost writer? Lu Ziwen, son, don't let not being able to speak become the generation gap between you and me. Gu Ziu. Gu Ziu fell into deep thought. His father had such a high skill, why did he still pay for a teacher? Gu Ziu, then why do you take me to eat, play, and ride cars on weekends? Lu Ziwen respected Gu Ziu, so what do you want to do? Gu Ziu, I want to learn painting, what else do you want? Lu Ziwen, I know a little bit about everything. Gu Ziu, you are not an athlete, how can you have so much time to learn extracurricular knowledge? Lu Ziwen, talent. Gu Ziu, ha. Lu Ziwen also sent Gu Ziu a subtle smile. Gu Ziu, do you know that this expression is a curse? Lu Ziwen immediately withdrew and changed to an emoticon. Gu Ziu. Gu Si came to drink water during the intermission. Gu Ziu put down his mobile phone and took Gu Si to look at his paintings. Mom, am I good at painting? Gu Si drank water and sat next to Gu Ziu to look at his works. Gu Ziu painted 8 people, all of whom were classmates playing basketball today. He had just learned painting for a few months and was not that good at painting. Gu Si, it has always been an encouraging education, the painting is good, the mother is so beautiful. Gu Si Yule blossomed and liked this kind of filtered praise, of course, in my eyes, Mom is the most beautiful woman in the world. Gu Si laughed, hugged him and kissed him. After playing ball, they had a barbecue together in her garden. It was the first time for Gu Ci to invite friends to her home, and she showed off her house generously. The barbecue equipment had been bought and the ingredients were ready. The classmates, they all brought some drinks, fruits, etc. when they came. The courtyard soon became lively. Gu Ziyu moved a stereo out. The young people gathered together and it was lively. They sang, danced, barbecued, and had a lot of fun. Gu Ziyu also sang a popular internet song, which was tone-deaf and very immature. Everyone laughed from ear to ear. Gu Chaoyun never went far, watching Gu Ci's family having a lively party near the villa. Jealousy gnawed at her heart and kept tearing at her soul and body. She couldn't help but think of the past. She loved her so much and Gu Ci lived in the shadows. No one in the family noticed Gu Ci. Gu Ci's academic performance was also poor. When she and Gu Yaezu were taking various extracurricular courses, such as equestrianism, swimming, and music, Gu Ci was detained at home. When the Gu family held a banquet, they would lock Gu Ci and not allow her to come out. She has no sense of presence in the Gu family. Obviously, she should be the eldest lady loved by thousands of people. If their backgrounds had not been exposed and everything was different, Gu Ci would not have undergone such earth-shaking changes. If Zhang Junlin had not protected her, Gu Ci would not have been so happy based on his grandma's preference for her. She has a good hand. Everything about Gu Ci should be hers. Gu Chaoyun is unwilling to give in, but she knows that Yu Fei is right. She can't afford to offend Lu Ziwen and Zhang Junlin unless she can find them. A person who is more powerful than them, is not afraid of their power and status, and can protect her. Otherwise, she will be trampled by Gu Ci all her life. Yu Fei called Gu Chaoyun. Gu Chaoyun, Mr. Chen wants to see you. Where are you? I'll pick you up. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 394. Chapter 394. Let's celebrate our birthday together. Gu Chaoyun's eyes suddenly lighted up. Chen Yang, the agency she signed with now had nothing to do with Chen Yang on the surface, but the online drama she became popular in was invested by Chen Yang, and she was asked to star in it. She also became popular smoothly, and Gu Chaoyun hoped that if she could get close to him, neither Lu Ziwen nor Zhang Junlin could do anything to her. Gu Chaoyun returned home, picked out her favorite dress, and dressed up beautifully. Yu Fei saw that she looked good and nodded, "Go to Gu Ci to apologize." "Has she accepted it?" "I knelt down to apologize, but she didn't accept it," Gu Chaoyun said softly, feeling extremely aggrieved. Is the little girl so cruel? This move of kneeling down was taught by Yu Fei. He thought that a little girl who is not experienced in the world should be kind at heart. Besides, growing up together, although it is unpleasant, it is not fatal. He didn't expect Gu Ci to have such a tough temper. Let's let it go first. Yu Fei was also a little unhappy, feeling that Gu Ci was taking Qiao too seriously, but then he thought about it. She was Zhang Junlin's sister and Lu Ziwen's girlfriend, so she really wouldn't take Gu Chaoyun seriously. Gu Ci played with her classmates until 9 o'clock at night, and was resting after that. Qin Wan poked her. Gu Chaoyun sent an apology statement, and it's related to you. Qin Wan read aloud, 19 years ago, my mother had a sudden thought and switched the identities of my sister Gu Ci and me. Although this was not what I wanted, I am a vested interest. I have been the cousin of the Zhang family for 18 years. I am loved and loved by my parents and my brother. The harm that our family of four has caused to my sister is irreparable. I sincerely apologize and hope that my sister can forgive me. Gu Ziyu said coolly, is this what she calls a sincere apology? Qin Wan exaggeratedly imitated the tone of netizens, oh, my sister has apologized, what else does she want? She is still a baby, this matter is not what she wanted, and she was also kept in the dark. How can sisters of the same age not quarrel or fight? Was Gu Si really abused by the Gu family? She was so stingy when she was admitted to a university. Gu Si and Gu Zia both looked at Qin Wan. Qin Wan spread his hands and said, "I'm reading aloud, don't look at me." This is still a hot comment, with the highest number of likes. The second hot comment is, Gu Si was the one who exposed Gu Chaoyun's house. I'm so scared to think about it. The IQ of the top scorer in the college entrance examination is really awesome. He can destroy a person without making a move. Gu Zia was angry. Are these people's outlook normal? You don't have to worry about not getting into a university anyway. Qin Wan waved her hand. Why is she scolding her when she apologizes? Fan economy. Her fans feel sorry that the real owner has been plotted against. Are there still people who accuse me of not caring about the family's debt? My father is in deep debt, but I didn't help. You are at predicting things, Qin Wan said. There is one thing. Your classmates in junior high school and high school came out and said that Gu Chaoyun was a kind-hearted person. You were jealous of your sister who took the initiative to stir up trouble. You said you didn't believe that Gu Chaoyun would bully you. He also said that you are a weirdo, unsociable, like to stir up troubles, have violent tendencies, and have fought with many people. It's not wrong. Qin Wan raised his eyebrows. Did you win? Basically win. Gu Zia sneered and said, I'm in debt and there are still people buying hot searches. I'm so busy. Mom, are you going to mess with her? Her statement is well-founded and there is nothing to refute. What netizens think and how many hot searches she likes to buy are her business. We don't need to waste this money. I just want to know who is supporting her behind her. I withdraw. Even though she lost 2 endorsements, she was still unscathed. Gu Si said, Ziu, don't worry about it. Use your skills for the right purpose. Mom has already sent someone to investigate. Protecting mother is also the right way. Gu Ziu argued with reason, but still kept his hands away from the keyboard. Gu Si was still waiting for news, but Zhou Jinjing couldn't help it. He retweeted Gu Chaoyun's updates and commented in one word, Bah. All netizens. She is very arrogant and plays a big role. Zhou Jinjin went to shoot a commercial today and did not come to Gu Si's house to play. Watching Gu Chaoyun's operations at night almost made her feel sick after dinner. Can't bear it. As soon as she retweeted it, the popularity increased even higher. They are the 2 most popular little flowers recently. The competition is fierce and they are competing in different genres. It is inevitable that people will say that they are taking advantage of the popularity and trying to curry favor with Gu Si. Zhou Jinjin also commented on the popular comments below. Zhou Jinjin, you say it as if you can flatter me. After a while, Zhou Jinjin was silent. Her manager forced her to confiscate her phone. She originally wanted to delete her comment, but unexpectedly, the official of Wallen Bank forwarded Zhou Jinjin on Weibo and sent a like emoticon. The agent looks like he has constipation, neither does he delete it, nor does he keep it. Zhang Junlin was so busy that he was dizzy. This was what Ji Xian had told him after the meeting. Zhang Junlin hadn't paid much attention to Gu Si recently. She was in good condition and she was not disconnected from Lu Ziwen. She was undergoing normal treatment and classes every day. Happy, she didn't want to get involved in Ji Dao's affairs for the time being, so Zhang Junlin didn't pay much attention to it. I didn't expect Gu Chaoyun to act like a monster again. Ji Sun volunteered, brother, I can help you with such a small matter. How do you want to deal with it? That's what I think. Wouldn't it be better to leave this matter to the third master? Just treat your future brother-in-law as a test, Ji Sun thought to himself, third master, I can only help you so far. Brother-in-law. Who recognized him? Zhang Junlin sneered coldly, he and Xiaosai have not had any contact since they broke up. Brother-in-law, if you don't recognize me, my nephew will recognize me. Ziu is so cute and smart. That's because Xiaosai has good genes. What does it have to do with him? Without the third master, there would be no chance of having a child, Ji Xian said optimistically. They are like a divorced couple, there is no sign of finding a second love. With children as a bond, it is impossible not to see each other for the rest of their lives. Do you know why they broke up? This is Ji Sun's knowledge blind spot. I really don't know. What's the use of you? Li Zhang has been following the third master for 24 hours, and he doesn't even know. Wrongly, and I have asked him, but the third master can't tell me. Can you blame me? Ji Sun felt aggrieved. Zhang Junlin looked at the information group and saw that Gu Xi had sent someone to investigate. He asked Zhang Qiang to summarize the information found in the past few days to Gu Xi. Zhang Junlin said, no matter why they broke up, a good horse never looks back, let Lu Ziwen know better and stop provoking Xiao Xi. Ji Sun's eyes dimmed. A good horse never turns back to eat grass. What about you? You broke up, so decisively, will you never look back? This question always weighed heavily between them. Brother, it's my birthday in a few days, let's celebrate it together, Ji Sun said happily. I've been practicing Buddhism and jumping over walls recently, and my craftsmanship is already very good. I'll cook for you. The manuscript box was in a hurry yesterday. I didn't write much today because I had something to do, so I just made 2 updates. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 395. Chapter 395. What a bad luck. Zhang Junlin thought of the days in the dungeon where he ate Buddha and jumped over the wall from time to time, eating so much that he almost left his body. Every sleeve of his clothes was full of rejection. Ji Sun said, I hired the best Cantonese chef. Really, believe me. Zhang Junlin pretended not to hear. We can go out to eat. I want to make it at home. Ji Sun looked aggrieved. You have never been with me on my birthday. Zhang Junlin felt suffocated. Looking at Ji Xian's aggrieved and unwilling face, knowing how much he was real and how much acting, Zhang Junlin still softened his heart and said, I know. Ji Sun was overjoyed and laughed out loud. It's settled, don't let me go. Gu Xi didn't need Lu Ziwen to help her deal with Gu Chuiyun. After finding out the news, she was quite surprised. She didn't expect that Gu Chuiyun, Chen Rishi and Chen Yang were on the line. Gu Ziyu has done some popular science with her about the old Chen family, and she also knows about the relationship between the old Chen family and Chen Rishi. No one in the Chen family is simple, but does Chen Yang like Gu Chuiyun because he likes her? On Friday, Gu Ziyu had a doctoral project and had evening classes. Gu Xi and Qin Wan went home first. Dr. North wanted to give Gu Xi a psychological consultation and followed them. The 3 of them saw each other as soon as they left the campus. Gu Chuiyun and Chen Yang were holding hands at the school gate, looking very intimate. Gu Xi was surprised. Gu Chuiyun also saw them and came over with Chen Yang on his arm. Chen Yang is slightly younger than Chen Rishi, his appearance is more feminine, and he does not have the greasiness of the rich second generation. His cashmere coat is slim and elegant, which makes him look very elegant. North frowned slightly and said to Qin Wan, let's go aside and wait. Gu Xi felt that there was no need to avoid suspicion. Dr. North had taken Qin Wan aside and looked a little nervous. Gu Chuiyun walked over with Chen Yang on her arm. Gu Xi always felt familiar when looking at Chen Yang, except that they met in the Universal Underground parking lot. She had never seen Chen Yang before, and that time she took a quick glance and didn't take a closer look at what he looked like. Sister, this is my boyfriend Chen Yang. He has always wanted to meet you. Would you like to have dinner together tonight? Gu Chuiyun asked with a smile. I have an appointment with the teacher. I'm sorry, but you and I don't know each other well enough to have dinner together. Gu Xi looked at Chen Yang coldly. If you have anything to say, you might as well just say it. Gu Xi has dealt with Chen Rishi, so she is naturally not afraid of Chen Yang. His aura is much weaker than that of Chen Rishi, and he does not have the gentle but murderous aura of Chen Rishi. Chen Yang is a young man raised in a wealthy and gentle village. He said with a smile, Miss Gu is quick to talk, so let me tell you straight. I know that you and Chu Yun have had some disputes, and she has also made mistakes. Now that she has found her way back, she has also apologized in public. You both have a new life. Know if you can take a step back, the sky will be brighter. Gu Si adjusted her shoulder bag and frowned innocently. I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean by taking a step back? I didn't force Gu Chaoyun to apologize. It's her freedom to apologize or not. It's my freedom not to forgive. Besides, I didn't do anything. Chen Yang smiled gently. Yes, Miss Gu doesn't have to do anything. You are the major shareholder of Wallen Bank. If Chu Yun wants to work in the entertainment industry, everyone will look at the face of capital. A lot of people will make things difficult for Wallen Bank Shi. This is strange. Gu Chaoyun has 16 endorsements, and her resources have also greatly improved. She has never seen anyone make things difficult for her. She has become popular in just 6 months. If I really have such a big reputation, what can she do? Are you getting red? Gu Si replied slowly. Qin Wan scratched his head and looked at Dr. North in confusion. Do you think he looks a bit like me? The female version of her. Dr. North's palms were all sweaty and he was extremely nervous. It doesn't look like that at all. Qin Wan touched his chin, still confused. Didn't he? It feels quite similar. The eldest son of the Chen family looks like a boy and a girl. Their facial features and outlines are quite similar. It's quite similar. It's very common for people to have similarities, Dr. North said lightly. They all have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and they all look similar. Qin Wan, why are you nervous? I'm not nervous. Qin Wan shrugged his shoulders and took out a cigarette from his pocket, but Dr. North stopped him. Be careful at the school entrance. So much control, Qin Wan complained, but still obeyed and put the cigarette back. Chen Yang chuckled and asked, Ms. Gu, are you not going to let my girlfriend go? I didn't do anything. Gu Si frowned. Young Master Chen, don't you understand human language? Chen Yang's face darkened. Miss Gu, Lu Ziwen, and Zhang Junlin wanted to give me some face when they met me. I don't know where you got the courage to talk to me like this. Gu Si also had a cold face, neither humble nor arrogant. Your face is earned by your father, not by you yourself. You and I are strangers, but you led your girlfriend to make things difficult for me at the gate of the campus, like this. Who will give you face based on your behavior? Chen Yang sneered. Sure enough, he is very sharp-tongued. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Gu Si turned around to find Dr. North and Qin Wan, and left together. Gu Chaoyun said softly, I have told you before that my sister is unruly and has a bad temper. You must come and see me. Chen Yang raised her chin and said calmly, you have no say in what I do. Gu Chaoyun trembled all over and did not dare to speak. Qin Wan crossed the road, looked back at Chen Yang, and asked Gu Si, Xiao Si, do Chen Yang and I look a bit similar? I've always thought he looked familiar, but I couldn't remember where I'd seen him before. As soon as you mentioned it, I thought of him, especially when you smile. Your eyes, noses and contours are all very similar. Gu Si looked at Dr. North. At a glance, it was clear that Chen Geng and the Chen family were from the same clan. Chen Yang and Xiao Yingtao both had the blood of the Chen family, so it was not surprising that they looked alike. Qin Wan looks nothing like Chen Rishi. Dr. North said lightly, there are many people in the entertainment industry who look alike but are not related by blood. I just sighed. It's bad luck for anyone to be related by blood to him. Qin Wan flatly refused. She was just a little curious when she met someone who looked like her. Gu Si and Dr. North smiled at each other, both feeling helpless. Why does this man come to you for no reason? To support Gu Chaoyun. Is there anything wrong with him? Qin Wan said, he can be regarded as the backbone of the Chen family. With this situation, he is no match for the Zhang family. Lao Zhang's daughter, son-in-law, son and daughter-in-law are not ordinary people, and his grandchildren are also well educated, and they can be said to be prosperous. Leave him alone, Gu Si said calmly. It's not incomprehensible for a young man to be full of energy and be fascinated by a woman and want to be her hero. Qin Wan said, Chen Liangdong is the only one in the Chen family who can compete with the rest of the family. In the final analysis, their family has too few heirs. Mr. Zhang is so clever. He gave birth to so many, one of them was spoiled, and the second one was spoiled. There are more in the future. There are many children and grandchildren, so you can choose whatever you want. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 396. Chapter 396 I'm just a chess piece. Dr. North said calmly, the Chang family has very few heirs, so why are they all so good? There are so many top families in City A, who can compare with my master's family. Qin Wan's filter was very heavy. The Zhang family has always maintained a noble bloodline inheritance, which has something to do with their family's desire to be well matched, a good match, and a good partner. No wonder the old lady strongly opposed Zhang Minjiao's marriage to Gu Wenliang. She was so foresight. Gu Si didn't expect that his origin would come to light. It's a pity that Chen Liangdong doesn't have a son or a daughter. He actually raised Ziyu as his son. Qin Wan concluded, it should be quite happy to be his son. North was startled. Gu Si has a say in this. Ziyu was led very well by him. Now Xiao Ziyu is truly an angel. Lu Ziwen and I don't have this ability. They returned home and Qin Wan went to do her homework after freshening up. After half an hour of writing, Zhang Junlin called her and asked her about a task. Qin Wan and Gu Si said something and then rode away on a motorcycle in a hurry. Master, why are you so absent-minded today? Gu Si was attentive and had already noticed that Dr. North was thinking about something and had a bad appetite for dinner. Thinking about some old things, Dr. North asked Gu Si, do you also think Qin Wan and Chen Yang are similar? It's quite similar. Dr. North asked hesitantly, Xiao Si, I'm very confused. Should I tell her about little Cherry? Gu Si is now more open-minded. Whether we say it or not, you are Qin Wan's mother, and this will not change. The door to the living room was suddenly pushed open, and Qin Wan appeared at the door with an expressionless face, holding a helmet in one hand. Xiao Si, what were you just talking about? Qin Wan walked in a hurry. Halfway through, Zhang Junlin asked for a document, and she turned back again. She walked lightly, and neither Gu Si nor Nuasi noticed her return. Qin Wan. Gu Si looked at Dr. North in fear. Qin Wan raised her hand and glanced at her watch, then hurried upstairs and got the documents. I'm on a mission and in a hurry. I hope you can give me an explanation when I come back. She left in a hurry, without fussing or crying, coming and going like a gust of wind. Both Gu Si and North were extremely upset. They almost never talked about Qin Wan's life experience. When Dr. North asked about it today, Gu Si mentioned it casually, but Qin Wan didn't expect to hear it. Master, what should I do? Dr. North smiled bitterly, I can't hide it after all. I will tell her everything. Although Qin Wan was calm on the surface, she was extremely upset while racing on the viaduct. The reason why she was so upset was not because North was her mother. Gu Si had known this for a long time. Does the master know? Why did the master fall in love with her at first sight? The master came to her because Dr. North betrayed him. Did he come to her for revenge? Then why did he change his mind and keep her by his side? Did the master come to kill her in the first place? Qin Wan saw Zhang Junlin, threw the documents to him, and got angry at Zhang Junlin. It's all your fault for asking for such broken documents. My peaceful life has been ruined by you. Zhang Junlin raised his eyes to look at her. Zhang Qiang was shocked. Didn't Qin Wan always treat his master like a dog, telling the truth and hitting him wherever he pointed? Zhang Junlin lowered his head to sort out the documents Qin Wan handed him. Regardless of Qin Wan's mood, can you still go on the mission? You can't change people. No need. Qin Wan rode away again in a hurry. Zhang Junlin signaled to Zhang Qiang, follow her, watch her and don't cause trouble. Yes. Zhang Qiang also went with him. When they were far away, Zhang Junlin raised his chin and thought, what did she hear on the way to get the documents? It was probably the conversation between Nuas and Gu Si about her life experience that was overheard. Zhang Junlin thought, gossiping, who is her father? Zhang Junlin didn't think that Qin Wanwan was Chen Geng's daughter from the beginning. North's temper was quite ruthless. If she was pregnant with Chen Geng's child, she would probably abort it directly. Safe place. Later in the middle of the night, both Xiao Yingying and Zhang Qiang came back. Things were done beautifully. Little Cherry was fuming, and Zhang Junlin said, let's go have a midnight snack. Is the restaurant where you can get late-night snacks still open at this hour? Money can make the world go round, Zhang Junlin said with a smile. A group of people went to have a midnight snack. It was a shop that Zhang Junlin often visited. This shop is a husband and wife shop. The husband and wife run it on a small budget. Zhang Junlin has nothing but family. Aunt Gui's favorite dish is this mom and pop shop. Later, the couple encountered difficulties in running the business, so Zhang Junlin simply bought it. The only requirement was that his dishes should be made according to his taste and he would not take any profit. As soon as the funds were spent, the couple opened a private restaurant. Zhang Junlin came here whenever he had any entertainment. Over time, it became the favorite gathering place of the financial circle, and it didn't matter what he ate. When they came over at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, the store was still open. Zhang Junlin called them in the middle of the night and asked to come for a late-night snack. The couple asked the clerk to get off work first, and they were waiting. The late-night snack was served quickly. Qin Wan lowered his head to eat rice noodles as if he were reincarnated as a starving ghost. Zhang Junlin slowly ate fish soup. What's going on? Can you tell me? Qin Wan held up a bowl that was bigger than her face, drank every drop of the rice noodle soup in one breath, and slammed it on the table. Zhang Junlin raised his eyebrows. This tableware is made of special bone china, don't drop it broken. Is North my mother? Qin Wan also asked simply. Yes, Zhang Junlin admitted straightforwardly. Did you hear the conversation between Xiaosai and North? You all know it and you hide it from me. This is a private matter between you and North. If she wants to say it, she will tell you naturally. If she doesn't want to say it, why should I say anything? Zhang Junlin explained gently. Besides, you keep saying you hate her, can I say it? Qin Wan's habit is to retaliate to his face when he has a grudge, and to say anything he wants to his face. He doesn't like to hide his thoughts overnight. Did you want to kill me when you came to me? Zhang Junlin pondered. The little girl turns out to be interested in this matter. You were silent for 3 seconds. Sure enough, you came to kill me for revenge, Qin Wan accused. Then why did you change your mind? When a member of the Yakuza dies in the line of duty, we all have to take care of their families. If there is a betrayal, the family members must also be registered. After North betrayed me, I was thinking that she might be looking for her daughter. I followed your clue and I didn't want to kill you if I could find her, so don't overthink it, Zhang Junlin said. I stopped paying attention to you after that. I just sent someone to record your whereabouts and tell me. You are smart, determined, and solid. Well, your adoptive parents are not good to you. I don't want to take you with me. North is alive and will come back to you one day. I'm just a chess piece. Chinwan looked sad. You trained me just to find enemies. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 397. Chapter 397 Parents competing for favor. Can 2 houses heal your sadness? 3 sets. Make a deal. Chinwan slapped the table and said, Madam Boss, here's another bowl of rice noodles. Chang Junlin. Zhang Qiang hesitated to speak. He turned around and told the secret guards that the master was used to using money to resolve conflicts, and they should also learn from Chinwan's shamelessness. It's all because their men were too reserved and didn't get so many houses by cheating. Zhang Junlin said, the secret guards should also choose an apartment for this year's year-end bonus. Zhang Qiang suspected that his master could read minds. Okay. When Chinwan returned to Lanshan Villa, it was almost dawn. Dr. North didn't sleep all night, waiting for her to come back. Chinwan took a bath and fell asleep directly without asking for an explanation. Dr. North didn't go when he saw this. Disturbed her. Gu Xi was free on weekends and took Gu Ziu to watch a movie early in the morning. Gu Ziu had made an appointment to paint with Lu Ziwen, so he innocently asked Gu Xi, Mom, can we take Dad with us to watch a movie? That's not allowed. When Gu Xi met someone, he sighed, okay, I'm a child of a divorced family. If you want to learn painting from Dad, I'll send you there. We won't watch a movie. Gu Xi was a little jealous, because the baby you now really likes Lu Ziwen. I really didn't expect that he was quite popular with Ziyu. Is this a magical blood relationship? No, I'm watching a movie with my mother, not my father. Gu Ziu decisively gave up on his father. I like my mother the most. Gu Xi pinched his nose. Lu Ziwen had made an appointment with Gu Ziu to teach him painting last week. Gu Xi was going to watch a movie on Friday. Lu Ziwen also asked Li Zhang to buy a lot of paints, but he was let go. Ji Sun said, Third Master, if your father and mother compete for favor, you really don't know what you are doing. Lu Ziwen, you have been very busy recently. I heard from Rong Li that you often go to Zhang Junlin for dinner. People are like iron, and rice is like steel. We always have to eat. Ji Sun is not afraid of being burned by boiling water. Who doesn't like love at public expense? When will we break up? Lu Ziwen asked. Ji Sun. It's really hard to pick up any pot. Ji Sun said perfunctorily, soon. Rong Li heard this sentence as soon as he came in and sneered, we haven't talked about it, so it doesn't count. Ji Huan raised his to Rong Li, but Rong Li ignored him and handed a report to Lu Ziwen, Third Master, a batch of goods was robbed last night. Lu Ziwen's eyebrows jumped. He took the report and quickly previewed it. Ji Sun also came over to read the report. Rong Li said, it's a batch of cultural relics that we have been asked to back. Black Hawk's business is relatively broad, not just in the financial sector. Ji Sun was confused. 4 cultural relics were lost? There was jewelry in the safe. Why not steal it? What are you doing stealing cultural relics? Nowadays, they are under strict control and cannot be circulated, so they can only smuggle them. Lu Ziwen said calmly, that's not the point. Rong Li said, the point is, these 4 items are insured for us $300 million and are insured by our insurance company. If the items are missing in our cargo hold, we have to pay compensation. How can we be taken advantage of? The oldest of these 4 things is the calligraphy and painting of the Song dynasty. We are not everyone, so why do we guarantee such a high price for them? Rong Li is responsible for this matter. Rong Li said, the value of cultural relics cannot be measured by money. How much is the price quoted by others? If you think the animal head is not worth 100 million, you bid 1 billion. It's up to you whether the museum will sell it to you. Ji-sun complained, to put it simply, we are too confident about our shipping lanes and escorts. The higher the insurance premium, the better. The insurance premium is temporarily satisfying and we can claim the crematorium. Lu Ziwen looked at the 4 cultural relics thoughtfully. This was an ordinary case. If there was nothing fishy about it, Rong Li would handle it on his own. If it was placed in front of him, there would definitely be a problem. Ji-sun also felt that there was a problem. A pair of calligraphy and painting, a painted koi vase, gold silk nails and coral beads. Ji-sun raised his eyebrows, they are all small things and easy to take away. The other party spent a lot of money and the safe is worth much more than them. So, of these 4 things, only one is important. The loss is small, and the Black Hawks brand cannot be destroyed. Lu Ziwen asked, what clues were found? Only 2 sets of footprints were found. The escorts were on duty 24 hours a day and never left. The camera light was broken, so nothing valuable was captured. There are no traces nearby, Rong Li said lightly. Private collector, Ji-sun asked. Rong Li nodded, what a coincidence, these 4 things will be handed over to Chen Lianzhu, and now we can't take out any of them. Ji-sun raised his eyebrows and said, it's very much like we are stealing from others. Tell Chen Lianzhu the truth, and then check the origins of the 4 things, who has passed through their hands in the past 20 years, and whether Chen Lianzhu bought them or were given as gifts. Lu Ziwen thought for a while, there may be some connection. We haven't thought about it yet. Ji Xian said thoughtfully, I sent someone to check what projects Chen Lianzhu has handled recently. If this kind of thing is a gift, it cannot be given to him in vain. Lu Ziwen nodded, go. Rong Li brought this case to Lu Ziwen with a layer of worry, Third Master, what if he misunderstood you and deliberately made things difficult for him? No one cares what he thinks, Lu Ziwen said indifferently but firmly, just send someone to explain this matter. You don't have to go. Just follow the procedures. Yes. Third Master, you are almost done recovering from your injuries. Mr. Zhang is free the day after tomorrow. Where can we make an appointment? Ji-sun asked, he asked me to arrange this matter. Lu Ziwen said with a half smile, I will go wherever you arrange it. Ji-sun. I always feel that Mr. San's smile is a bit malicious. Is it his misunderstanding? Rong Li rolled his eyes, brother, trust your intuition. Qin Wan woke up after a good sleep, feeling refreshed and the house was very quiet. When Qin Wan came downstairs, Dr. North had already prepared the meal. Gu Si had not invited her aunt so far. Dr. North did not come often, so she visited her on weekends. Siwi is interested in cooking, and usually orders takeout. Dr. North cooked 2 bowls of rice noodles and prepared 3 side dishes. Qin Wan's stomach was empty and her mouth watered when smelling the aroma. She felt a little uncomfortable. Dr. North was also very nervous, come over and eat. Where are Gu Si and Ziu? Went to watch a movie. Qin Wan knew very well that Gu Si and Ziu must have gone to the movies on purpose, leaving her to talk to Dr. North alone. Qin Wan felt very complicated. She had known that she was adopted since she was a child. Whether her adoptive parents liked her or not, she didn't mind at all. She once thought about what it would be like if she grew up with her biological parents. She also thought about whether her parents had any difficulties in abandoning her. She also resented why she didn't want to give birth to her. Later, when she stayed with Zhang Junlin, she became more knowledgeable, open-minded, and free-spirited. She gradually felt relieved. She felt that it was good to be free of burdens. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 398. Chapter 398. Mother and daughter recognize each other. Occasionally, she would envy those families with loving mothers and filial sons. Occasionally, she would feel that children with parents were really happy, but she had also seen families who turned against each other for petty profits, so she no longer envied them. It is good for a person to have no worries. She has been born and died, and she will be wrapped in horse leather in the future. She does not need to worry about where she will go, and no one will be sad for her. When she dies, her ashes will be scattered into the sea. She will come and go without worries. This is also good. Of. Suddenly, she has a mother. Chinwan lowered his head to eat his rice noodles, and looked up from time to time to look at Dr. North. She had no resemblance to her at all, so why were they mother and daughter? They don't even look alike. There are quite a few children in the world who don't look like their parents. How about getting a blood test? What if she admits she is wrong? Stop being sentimental, others may not be willing to recognize you, then everything will be fine. Chinwan was well educated by Zhang Junlin, open-minded and sensible. She knew a little bit about Dr. North. In order to avoid Chen Gang, she narrowly escaped death. It was good that she was lucky enough to survive. Chinwan felt very sad when she thought that her father was Chen Gang. Therefore, she doesn't have any hatred for Dr. North. She really doesn't hate her at all. She just feels awkward. If Zhang Junlin is Chen Gang, he has trained her since she was a child, trampled on her, and ravaged her. What a sweet dream to have children. So, she was lucky enough to be born, and she seemed to be kneeling down to thank the Bodhisattva. Don't you have anything to ask me? I've never encountered this kind of situation in my life, just, do we need to do a paternity test first? Chinwan asked straight to the point, just, be on the safe side. North chuckled, no need, your identity has already been confirmed. Oh. Chinwan thought to himself, the master was sure of things, and there was nothing wrong with it. Chinwan said, actually, I don't have anything to ask. I have read your information, and I can understand why you abandoned me. It's terrible to face my enemy's daughter every day, even if I gave birth to it, so it's good to give me a way to survive. Dr. North's eyes turned red. He didn't expect Chinwan to think so. She laughed at herself and didn't blame Chinwan. She had never recognized Chinwan and had spoken harshly to him, so she shouldn't be blamed. Back in class, I made nasty remarks to you. I didn't know that you were following your master. At that time, Chen Rishi was in City A, looking for you everywhere. I was afraid of arousing her suspicion, so I was prepared not to get along with you. Be prepared to admit it. If Chen knows your identity truthfully, it will not do you any good, and if you are admitted to University A and have a good future, it should be smooth and smooth. Dr. North did not mean to do her good. Concealing the truth and being moved by himself, Chinwan had the right to know, I asked Pei Chuying to send you to the orphanage because I was prepared to die together with Chen Gang. I didn't want you to grow up in the Chen family. It was a den of tigers and wolves, and Chen Rishi didn't want you to grow up. I will treat you well and I don't mean to abandon you. Chinwan's heart trembled. Although she told herself that she didn't hate, complain, or look forward to it, Chinwan was still very happy knowing that Dr. North was protecting her and not deliberately abandoning her. I understand. Chinwan took a deep breath and said softly, although we are biological mother and daughter, you and I have not gotten along since childhood, and we are also very estranged. We may not be able to treat you like a biological mother like Gu Si. However, I will take care of you till the end of your life. This is the only thing she can do. Dr. North couldn't laugh or cry. They recognized each other as mother and daughter. There was no earth-shattering scene, just an ordinary meal. Chinwan didn't complain about her, but he didn't get close to her either. Dr. North is a little sad, but he is very happy. I am actually Chen Rishi's younger sister, it's really. Dr. North hesitated to speak. Chinwan was startled, fearing that she would think of sad things again, I just mentioned it casually. Your dad is not Chen Gang. Qin was so shocked that he burped and blurted out, "Great, who is that?" Dr. North was silent. Qin wondered if there was something unspeakable. Qin hurriedly waved her hand, "It doesn't matter if you don't tell me. In fact, I don't really want to know." She was already at a loss when a mother suddenly appeared. If a father appeared again, her hair would stand up just thinking about it. She might as well not get to the bottom of it, it would not be easy for her either. She ran away after eating, and turned to Zhang Junlin and said, "My dad is not Chen Gang." Thank God. Did she have any good male friends back then? Didn't she say? I saw that she seemed quite sad, so I stopped asking. Qin had been living with others for many years and had a strong ability to observe people's emotions. I really want to know, but I don't want to know. Want me to help you check? Forget it. Qin sighed, 20 years have passed, and you are either dead or alive, marrying a wife, having children, and recognizing your father. It doesn't matter. If there are any cheap brothers and sisters, it will be very bad. Zhang Junlin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This is your private matter. If you want to check it, I will send someone to check it. If you don't want to check it, I won't check it privately. But I suggest it is best to ask her proactively. Oh, okay, let's leave it like this for now. I'm not interested in knowing for the time being. Qin hung up the phone neatly. He was so free and carefree by himself that no one cared about him. Zhang Junlin was looking at the calligraphy and painting in front of him with a magnifying glass, recording the hidden information in the calligraphy and painting. Zhang Qiang was watching and did not let anyone get close. Zhang Junlin did this himself. Zhang Qiang said, "Master, why did the evidence they risked their lives to pass on to Black Eagle for escort? We went through all the trouble to get it back. You and the third master made an appointment to discuss cooperation. If they find out, this matter will have to be done again." Change. Zhang Junlin said indifferently, "Don't worry, Qin has done things properly, they can't find any clues, and they can't find out the origins of these things." After extracting all the information hidden in the calligraphy and painting, he rolled up the calligraphy and painting and handed it to Zhang Qiang. "Wipe all the fingerprints on the cultural relics, send people to put them on the black market, and spread the news to Black Eagle. What if they extract the information? No one knows what the information on the calligraphy and painting means except me." Zhang Junlin took off his glasses and rubbed his eyebrows. He had been looking at the calligraphy and painting for nearly 5 hours. "Keep it hidden and put aside the relationship. Why should we return it to Black Eagle? They collect the things and pay the compensation. They are losing money anyway. Lu Ziwen is very smart. Although we have done a very clean job, there is no guarantee that they will not go wrong if they continue to investigate. Return it to them and take a long-term view when doing things, so as not to lose the big for the small. Understood?" The cultural relics arrived on the black market, and within 3 hours, they were returned to Rong Li's hands. Ji Sun propped up his chin and said, "Third Master, I don't understand how to explain this." Lu Ziwen looked at the 4 intact things in front of him. To be honest, he didn't understand either. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 399. Chapter 399. The storm is coming. Rong Li had tested the authenticity and found that there was no damage. Rong Li was very unhappy that the item was returned to Zhao intact. Even though the item was lost in his hand, he still found it, but he always felt that he was being manipulated. Is there such a stupid thief who stole it for less than a day and then returned it intact? No, Lu Ziwen said with a chuckle, some people get the information they want, and this thing is no longer attractive to them. Lu Ziwen has a strong appreciation for old objects. He could tell there was something wrong with the painting at a glance. He rubbed his fingers on the canvas and said, "Xiaoxian, bring a magnifying glass over here." Ji Xian brought the magnifying glass over and Lu Ziwen said calmly, "This canvas has been tampered with. Have you found out the origin of the cultural relics?" "No news yet," Rong Li said. "Third Master, what happened to this painting?" "People are confident that we can't crack it when they come back," Lu Ziwen said with a chuckle, taking the pen on the table and analyzing the information on the canvas. Ji Sun asked, "Should the person who stole the painting still be investigated?" "No need, the other party just wants information, and it doesn't harm the relationship. We are well informed, so we don't need to go into a big fight." Lu Ziwen glanced at Ji Sun. "There are not many people in the country who have this kind of character." Ji Sun: "Third Master, just show me your Zhang Junlin ID card." At night, Zhang Junlin came to Lanshan Villa to find Gu Si and told him about meeting Lu Ziwen. "Do you want to go with me?" "I'm not going, right," Gu Si resisted. Recently, she forced herself not to think about him or see him. She controlled it very well, but she was also afraid that her inner demon would relapse when she saw Lu Ziwen again. "Xiao Si, if you want to take over the Jidao, you will definitely deal with Black Eagle. You can't avoid it all the time," Zhang Junlin said softly. "Of course, I won't force you. The choice is yours. Let's make an appointment in the afternoon." "I know," Gu Si said softly without much hesitation. "I will ask Qinwan to send me there." "Okay." Zhang Junlin has been too busy recently. After talking to Gu Si, he still has to go to Kuoan to meet Chen Liangdong to meet someone. He didn't stay much longer. Gu Si sat in front of the window and looked at the stars, remembering the time he and Lu Ziwen watched the stars together that day. She really felt happy at that moment. She has been living a fulfilling life recently. Although she has not read Dr. North's diagnosis report, she knows that she is gradually getting better. Although she is not cured, her mood is already different. She learned how to please herself. She has lived for others since she was a child. She has been working hard to get the love of her parents for half her life. Later, she was heartbroken and lived for Lu Ziwen. After Lu Ziwen died, all her thoughts were destroyed. She has not learned to love someone, she only possesses them, holds on to them, and becomes obsessed with them. Now she has gradually learned to please herself. If she doesn't love herself, who will love her? Lu Ziwen loves her, but wants to leave her. Although she told Lu Ziwen that they would never see each other again, she was Zhang Junlin's sister. She would take over as the master of Jidao in the future, and she would not see each other for the rest of her life. She would always go to see Lu Ziwen calmly. When Zhang Junlin arrived at the National Security Bureau, Chen Liangdong was already waiting for him. He took him to an exclusive prison and met a key prisoner. Chen Liangdong once imprisoned all important figures. They were all treated very well, with soft sofas, and there is a computer connected to the intranet, where you can play games, watch videos, and study. The man Zhang Junlin saw looked very young. He had not seen the sun all year round. His skin was very white, his pupils were lighter than ordinary people, and he was wearing grey clothes. Wearing prison uniforms, we are fighting landlords for our own entertainment. Tang Mingzhou was implicated in the coastal economic case 5 years ago and refused to provide the list of main criminals. He was detained here for 5 years, Zhang Junlin said lightly. You still don't want to say anything. Director Chen, this is who is this? It's so cool, Tang Mingzhou asked Chen Liangdong with a smile. Zhang Junlin seemed to have thought of something happy, and stretched out his hand with a chuckle. Let me introduce myself, Zhang Junlin, the master of the Jidao Dark Network. I was the one who sent you to prison 5 years ago. The smile on Tang Mingzhou's face faded a little. It's you. Tang Mingzhou propped up his chin and looked at Zhang Junlin. I didn't expect the owner of the G-Dao dark network to be so young. I didn't expect that after 5 years, there would be a big turnaround, right? Zhang Junlin squatted down and looked at him levelly, the previous Black Eagle Lord, Mr. Tang Mingzhou. The two people's eyes were facing each other, very close to each other, and every expression could not escape each other's eyes. Tang Mingzhou's hair stood on end. Even Lu Ziwen didn't know about this. How did Zhang Junlin know? He is deceiving him. Everyone says that Third Master was secretly trained by you and parachuted to Black Hawk. You passed away 5 years ago and he was ordered to do so at the critical moment. But in fact, he personally handed the evidence of your crime into my hands. This information was revealed after 5 years. It's in my hands. Zhang Junlin smiled with a hint of malice. I didn't know that the Third Master had helped me once. Is it surprising that the prince usurped the throne and you were betrayed? Meanwhile, Global Center. Lu Ziwen looked at the extracted characters, his brows furrowed. Neither Rong Li nor Ji Sun could decipher the information contained in the intelligence. In their opinion, it was a ghost talisman. This should be an exclusive contact code. It would be very difficult for others to extract the information. It's difficult, but Lu Ziwen can decipher a name. Tang Mingzhou. No matter what message is conveyed, the way the name is conveyed will be somewhat fixed. This name appeared again after 5 years, which gave him a bad feeling. Ji Huan asked, who is Tang Mingzhou? Rong Li also looked at Lu Ziwen. Black Hawk's last owner. Isn't he dead? The owner of Black Eagle never revealed his real name to others, and this was the first time Rong Li knew his real name. Yes, isn't he dead? Lu Ziwen raised his eyebrows. Ji Sun frowned. A person who has been dead for 5 years suddenly appears. This is a bit weird. Who passed on a clue related to the Black Hawk to my brother? What could it be? Rong Li Gong was using his mobile phone to retrieve Tang Mingzhou's information. Third Master, Tang Mingzhou's parents died in a car accident before his death. After his death, his wife got pregnant and remarried and gave birth to a son. Rong Li was stunned. His son was bitten by a mad dog in the community 3 years ago. He fell ill and died. His wife also went crazy. He is the master of Black Eagle. Didn't he leave some manpower to protect his wife and children? Ji Sun didn't understand. Just as the Third Master had given an order when he was training him, if the Third Master had any shortcomings, he must protect Gu. Porcelain. Lu Ziwen said, at that time, he was overwhelmed by the major Black Hawk families. Bing Xing risked cooperation with Chen Lianzhu and wanted to use Chen Lianzhu to completely gain power. However, Chen Lianzhu took advantage of him and committed many crimes. He is the person in charge of land approval, has a small position but a lot of power. It was only when I compiled the information about his crimes that he was caught. His affairs disappeared. Except for Chen Lianzhu, no one should know that he was the previous Black Hawk. Master, why does his name appear in this calligraphy and painting? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 400. Chapter 400. This is retribution. He was puzzled, but Rong Li and Ji Sun were shocked by the large amount of information. Why are you looking at me like this, Lu Ziwen? Third Master, so when you were 16 years old, you planned to usurp the throne and kill him directly to take the throne, Rong Li concluded. So what, just because he is 16 years old does not mean that he is 16 years old. Ji Sun applauded expressionlessly. Didn't the rumor say that he died suddenly, so you airborne the Black Hawk? Who spread the rumor? Rong Liming was stunned. This rumor was spread by Li Zhang, so it must have been spread by Lu Ziwen himself. He parachuted into the Black Hawk and only took full control of the Black Hawk this year. He was also controlled by others. The master of the Black Hawk is not that easy to be. There are no natural advantages of the dark web. In terms of the ancient system, Black Eagle is a system of dividing the princes. The emperor is just a puppet. Whether the princes will obey or not depends on whether the emperor is strong or not. The Yakuza Darnet is a centralized system with no decentralization of power. It is much more difficult for Lu Ziwen to control the Black Eagle than for Zhang Junlin to take over the position of Ji Dao. Third Master, then his wife and children will not be you. Rong Li made a throat-cutting motion on his neck. Lu Ziwen asked with a half-smile, am I such a crazy person? Ji Huan and Rong Li said in unison, they look very similar. You didn't read all the information. Tang Ming's wife did not go to the hospital because of toothache when she was pregnant. She bought painkillers in a store, so her son has Down syndrome. I have no interest in doing anything to a mentally retarded child, Lu Ziwen said softly. Said, that was indeed an accident. Why did the third master want to usurp the throne? Ji Sun said puzzledly, you should have had a dual personality at the time. Tang Mingzhou was dealing with Black Eagle. You could help him secretly. You should take care of Black Eagle yourself and train him. You are not asking for it. Do you deserve it? He and I have differences in the management of Black Hawk. In order to control Black Hawk, we will do whatever it takes, but the price will kill many people. Black Hawk's main business direction will also completely turn to darkness and there will be no way to escape. If he gets his wish, Black Eagle will now be a criminal group. Lu Ziwen said lightly, I am not interested in taking over a criminal group, and Tang Mingzhou will be self-willed. That will be his own death. Understood. Black Hawk does have some businesses that are secret and cannot be made public, and are gray industries. However, many industries have been bleached ashore and all are employed with certificates. Ji Sun pursed his lips, is he really dead? What if he is still alive? Lu Ziwen frowned, I saw him die with my own eyes, but I did not see the body. You are reminding me, Ji Sun, go check on Zhang Junlin's recent movements. This kind of exclusive contact information, no one can decipher it except them, but I don't feel right. Yes, Ji Xian nodded without hesitation, I will definitely check it out before you meet. In prison, Zhang Junlin pulled up a chair and said calmly, in the economic case 5 years ago, we only caught you from beginning to end. The evidence is solid and you can't escape. But you are covering the people behind you, and each other collusion, misappropriation of assets, you transferred 20 billion of depositors from the bank in Sidia alone, and just pushed it all to one counter? You confess to all the crimes, and as long as you don't confess them, you will not die. Zhang Junlin said regretfully, it's my fault too. I was blind and thought I had caught a lawless and greedy person. I didn't expect that the master of Black Eagle was behind you. Then this money must have flowed to Black Eagle's system. 5 years have passed, so many rounds have been cleared, right? Tang Mingzhou closed the landlord fighting page on the website, do you mind if I smoke a cigarette? The recorder accompanying Chen Liangdong was about to smoke a cigarette for him. Mind, Zhang Junlin, a picky eater even in prison, how could he endure the helplessness of others? The recorder took out the cigarette and put it back silently, pretending that nothing happened. How did you find out my identity? Tang Mingzhou sneered, the third master doesn't even know my real name. The money from bank depositors in Sidia was stolen, resulting in heavy losses. It affected the reputation of the bank and caused a run. It was not handled properly at the beginning. Some people jumped from the bank building one after another and died in protest, which seriously affected the operation of the financial system. An orderly development, which also humiliated everyone and caused tragedies to countless families. Later, Hualan Bank filled the hole. I was responsible for the investigation. If there was no result, the aftermath would naturally be dealt with. Once the aftermath was resolved, I would definitely find the main culprit. Let me catch clues that this matter is actually related to Black Hawk. So in the past 5 years, I have sent more than a dozen people into Black Hawk to investigate, even using myself as bait. I just want the truth about this matter to be revealed. Anyone who does something wrong must pay the price, and neither you nor the people behind you can escape. Zhang Junlin became furious when he mentioned this incident. His high school Chinese teacher also died in this incident. His wife was ill and couldn't withdraw the life-saving money from the bank, which delayed the operation and unfortunately passed away. His teacher also jumped into the sea and died, taking his deceased wife with him. Lu Ziwen doesn't know your real name. If he doesn't know your real name, how can he report you? Zhang Junlin sneered. I think I hid it well, but in fact, you have no secrets in the eyes of others. You actually know that the third master is Lu Ziwen. Tang Mingzhou, if you think that I can't do anything to you if you hide here, you are wrong. Zhang Junlin said in a deep voice, I know that you are the Lord of Black Eagle, and I have a way to restore the whole thing. Then what are you doing here? Tang Mingzhou sneered. Zhang Junlin, if you really had a way to find out, you wouldn't come to see me. Zhang Junlin seemed to have thought of something funny. You personally trained Lu Ziwen, but you were betrayed by him. You are really useless. Zhang Junlin, Tang Mingzhou laughed angrily, you are sowing discord, I don't believe it. So, you never knew who betrayed you? Zhang Junlin looked at him funny. If not, why did you stay here for 5 years and no one rescued you? Zhang Junlin took out his mobile phone and called up an old news article, a social news story from 3 years ago. Do the people in the picture look familiar? Tang Mingzhou didn't want to look. He knew it wouldn't be a good thing. Zhang Junlin must have deliberately seduced him. But he still took a look and snatched the phone away. The news was about his wife and being bitten by a dog. Come on. Children who died from rabies. You. Tang Mingzhou's eyes turned red instantly. He looked at Zhang Junlin with hatred, and suddenly smashed his phone. Zhang Junlin, how dare you? Zhang Junlin looked at the smashed mobile phone indifferently. It was just a contact phone. This was an accident. Do you think it is retribution? End of this chapter.